Everything you need to know. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is Srinivas Reddy, working as senior scientist at Tirupati. So there is among the citrus, there are different species. One is acid lime, one is sweet orange, another is mandarins. In mandarins, again, we have Khasi mandarin, Kinno mandarin. But when we come to southern India as a whole, we have major cultivation in acid lime and sweet orange. And among this, Andhrapradesh has the highest area and production of both sweet orange and acid lime. So in Tamil Nadu, acid lime is grown. Telangana, again, acid lime and sweet orange is grown. Kerala, it doesn't have much area of the citrus. Even the same case with the Karnataka. Only acid lime is grown there. So if you look at the climate, generally the citrus are grown in dry type of climate, where the annual rainfall will be around 750 mm. The temperature will be around 32 degrees. So light red loamy soils will be required for cultivation of citrus. The soil of pH will be 6.5 to 7.5 ideal. Generally, this citrus can't be cultivated in problematic soils like alkaline soils or sodic soils. So generally, we should have a good fertile soil where the pH will be ideal in between 6 to 7. So if you look at the sweet orange, mainly there are three varieties. One is Satgudi, Batavian, and Mosambik, where Mosambik is cultivated mainly in Maharashtra. Batavian, we have a small patches, means less area is grown. And the largest area we have in South India is Satgudi. Among acid lime, mainly there are two varieties. One is Balaji, another is Petlur. Whereas when we go to the Karnataka, we have a Kagzi lime. And in Tamil Nadu, they are grown PKM1. Those are acid lime cultivation. So generally, this Satgudi is the leading variety in sweet orange, and which yields over 16 to 18 tons per acre, which has wider adoptability and consumer acceptance. So when we look at the juice content, almost 50% juice is produced from one fruit, and the Brix is around 8.5 to 9 degrees Brix. That is 0.65%. Whereas Mosambik, it is also around 8.5 degrees Brix, but lesser juice content compared to Satgudi, 43%. Both Mosambik and Satgudi, less or most, they give the same yield. Whereas Mosambik is cultivated in mainly Maharashtra, Satgudi is cultivated in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So coming on to the Batavian, this though closely resembles Satgudi, but when the fruit is about to mature, they have a structure called basket, where it is covered the fruit to protect from fruit sucking moth. And then we have acid lime, where generally we call as Citrus orangifolia, which mainly belongs to Kagzi lime. But this Kagzi lime is susceptible to canker. So over a period of time, the Horticultural University has evolved two varieties. One is Balaji, another is Petlur Selection 1. So these two varieties are found to be tolerant to fruit canker. And the annual yield, if you see the crop, which after 5th year start bearing, it will produce 3,000 to 5,000 fruits per tree, weighing of 40 to 50 grams. And the one very important character is it has higher juice content, both these varieties, around 47%, and the acidity is 6.8 to 7%. And many of the farmers are worried about the planting material. So when it comes to acid lime, always it is propagated through seedlings because we get prototype. So that's the recommendation we give for propagation. That is acid lime propagation through seed. Whereas generally sweet orange is propagated by budding. So when we talk of budding, the one important thing comes to our mind is rootstocks. So generally there are two rootstocks used for propagation of Satgudi or sweet orange. One is Jamberi and another is citrus Jamberi, it is called. Another is Rangpur lime. So these two rootstocks are commonly used by the commercial nurseries and even the department nurseries and also the universities. So generally we at Citrus Station Tirupati, which is one of the oldest research station in South India, almost 70 years old, we are using Rangpur lime as rootstock to bud Satgudi. And coming to the spacing, generally we recommend to plant this acid lime or sweet orange from the month of June to January, when the weather is congenial for planting. And we recommend around 50 kg farmyard manure. So coming to the spacing, both acid lime and sweet orange are recommended at the spacing of 6 into 6 meters. That is 110 plants can be accommodated per acre. So manures and fertilizers also we recommend in the form of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. So generally 50% of the nitrogen should be applied in the organic form, that is through FIM, form and manure, and 25% through oil cakes. So this among all the fruit crops, the citrus is highly susceptible to micronutrient deficiency. So we can say this is an indicator plant among fruit plants for observing the micronutrient deficiency. In this regard, extensive research has been carried out. What are the micronutrients required at what dose? So generally for sweet orange, we recommend these 6 micronutrients: zinc sulfate, copper sulfate, magnesium, ferrous, manganese, and borax. So all these micronutrients should be mixed at these different ratios and should be sprayed whenever the tree put forth new foliage. Whereas when we find some certain regions of the soils where there's so severe deficiency, and in those type of soils, we recommend zinc sulfate at 200 grams, ferrous sulfate 150 grams, and manganese sulfate 200 grams, magnesium sulfate 300 grams, and borax 80 grams. This we should be applied in 2 split doses, once in June and another dose in January. So look at this table. We have Sadgudi fertilizer recommendation based on the year of planting and also the acid lime. For example, if you look at the 3rd year sweet orange, we should apply FIM 30 kgs, neem cake 5 kgs, urea 1 kg, SSP 1.3 kgs, and MOP 4.45 kgs. Whereas acid lime, if you look at here, we have also 60 kgs of FIM, 6 kgs of neem cake, and 1200 grams of urea, 3 kgs of SSP, and 1 kg of potash. So for each year, after 5th year, the dose increases by 10%. So unless other fruit crops, we rarely recommend pruning to be practiced in sweet orange or acid lime. So whatever the sprouts, suppose sometimes rootstock sprouts or water suckers should be removed and should be spared with 1% Bodo paste. So intercrops, cucurbitaceous and solanaceous vegetables should not be grown. But other pulses, mainly cowpea, green gram, black gram, or green manure crops can also be grown intercrop. And before the crop starts bearing, we can generate extra income. So irrigation is most crucial in sweet orange and acid lime. So under normal conditions, we recommend 18 to 25 irrigations per year. And also drip can be very well used for both these crops. So the extensive research and the results output states that flowering and fruit maturity stages are the most critical stages for irrigation. If it doesn't provide irrigation at these stages, there is a drastic decrease in the yield. So intercultivation also, after harvest of the crop, we recommend twice or thrice based on the moisture left over in the field. And when there is a severe weed infestation, we recommend in the matured orchards, spraying of glyphosate 8 ml per liter or paraquat dichloride at 5 ml per liter along with 10 grams. So mulching, there are different ways of either you can use organic mulching or plastic mulching. But generally when we use organic mulch, dry leaf mulch or paddy mulch to a thickness of 8 centimeter, we can reduce the weed growth. So one more important aspect of fruit formation is fruit drop. So this fruit drop occurs at 3 stages: early and pre-harvest fruit drop. So pre-harvest fruit drop is 1 month before harvesting. So generally based on the drop, we recommend on chemical growth regulator, that is 2,4-D at 10 ppm. That is 1 gram to 100 liters to be sprayed. One at the time of flowering, and the second month after fruit set, and 3rd month before harvest. That is 1 month before harvest, which is beneficial and increase the yield. So generally, this acid lime and sweet orange, we have Bahar treatment, that is withholding of the moisture for 25 to 30 days to initiate the flowering. So generally, there are 3 Bahars. One is Ambe Bahar, December to January, Brick Bahar, June to July, and Hasta Bahar, September to October. So the Hasta Bahar crop is very important to get a better remunerative price. So before you leave the crop for Hasta Bahar, we should allow the roots to the exposed to the sunlight and withhold the water for 20 to 25 days depending on the soil conditions. So these sweet oranges are mainly consumed as a fresh fruit, and also different post-harvest products can be made like marmalades, pectins, and essence oils. So coming to diseases, the one very important disease what we often find in the field or which is challenging till today to the researchers is greening, which is nowadays the name have been changed to Hong Long Bing, which generally spreads through budding material and the vector. So whenever you want to see that your orchard is free of greening disease or Hong Long Bing, you should select the certified disease-free buddings and also control of vector using the insecticide mentioned here like dimethoate or profenofos. And we have one important is Tristagia, is a virus disease. This again is spread through planting material, and one vector is aphids. So we should be very careful with this Tristagia disease. Another is mosaic, which is spread through mealybugs. So all these Tristagia, greening, and mosaic diseases to larger extent can be avoided by using certified disease-free planting material. And this also be observed. The micronutrient deficiencies, boron deficiency, iron, copper. Then one more is disorders, fruit splitting and cracking. This may be due to irregular irrigations or boron. When we regularly spray boron with 1 gram per liter, we can avoid the fruits. Another thing is sunburn, because as we know that the Hasabahar crop comes to the crop in the summer, so generally we see that the fruits exposed most to the sunlight, UV radiation. So to avoid that, we recommend spraying of quicklime at the rate 2%, that is 20 grams on the leaves, fruits and trunks. So another parasite problem is we have is Cuscuta and Loranthus, which whenever we see it, we should cut the particular portion and burn it. So one other major issue in citrus, either sweet orange or acid lemon mandarin is pest. We have around 8 to 10 major pests. The one major pest from nursery till the crop reaches the harvesting is leaf miner. So this, we can see initially before the orchard starts bearing, there is impact on the yield, and after the orchard starts bearing, we doesn't see any impact on the yield. So this leaf miner is a small larvae where it mines to the leaves and damages the leaves. So generally, we recommend neem-based formulations or neem-based products, either NSKE or thiamethoxam or profenofos, to manage this leaf miner, and or different neem products like neem oil or other directing-based formulations can be also used, like 300 to 10,000 ppm at the 2 ml per liter can control leaf miner effectively. One more pest which is from nursery, which eats away the flushes, is citrus butterfly. So here you can see a small budding plant planted in the orchard is eaten by citrus butterfly, where initially it looks like buds, etc., and later on it turns to color, different color. There is a defoliation of the foliage. So many work has been done, but when we done work on the citrus in Tirupati, what we found is the BT, spraying of BT at the rate 1 ml per liter is very effective to control this citrus butterfly. One major pest is citrusilla. Nowadays, the population has been seen in large numbers, even on acid lime, where these nymphs and adults suck the sap from the unopened foliage, and other than this direct damage, they act as vector for transfer of citrus greening disease from one plant to another plant. So you can see here, many adults, they always land at a 45 degrees angle on the plant, and they lay around 800 eggs per plant. And here you can see one important symptom in the field is the white crystals, waxy crystals. There's many farmers calling the local vernacular language as sugar disease, but this is the waxy crystals present due to Scilla. So many, we can see when we do regular surveys, there is a severe outbreak of Scilla in most of the citrus growing regions. Even in nurseries, we can see, and also in acid lime. So here you can see in the acid lime itself, nursery, the buddings are infested with the Scilla. So definitely this type of planting material, if you plant it, you are bound to get citrus greening disease. So one alternate host we should remember is curry leaf. This acts alternate host for Scilla. So in the vicinity of this citrus orchards, we should not cultivate this curry leaf. And one more ornamental plant we found is orange jasmine. So we should not also allow to this ornamental plant to grow nearby the orchards. So there are different mechanisms to control through biological agents, through using certified disease planting material, and the one more very effective insecticide is Novalura. If you use at 0.7 per ml per liter, effectively controls Scilla. Another second important pest is aphids, which besides sucking the sap from the plant, they also transmit the disease, the viral disease called Trichia. So again, here we can use some systemic insects like thiamethoxam or imidacloprid for control of this one. Another very important sucking pest is black flies, which we see in the summer in large numbers in both acid lime and sweet orange, where they, besides suck the sap, they excrete honeydew, which leads to growth of sooty mold. So generally, often in the fields, many of the extension workers are often confusing with the deficient symptoms of the viral diseases. So we should be very careful when we diagnose the particular problem is with the micronutrients or diseases. So many of the, as IPM practice, we recommend yellow sticky traps. And one very important thing where we failed is in citrus, the one important is we should see that the nursery mother block is cultivated under protected cultivation. Most of the nurseries are growing in open field condition, which is leading to occurrence of major viral and bacterial diseases. So here what we see on the above screen, that growing of mother plants in screeners and protected cultivation, we can get certified disease-free planting material. And we also have some minor pests like weevils, where they defoliate the plants. So recommendation of chlorpyrifos also is enough. Another major pest, sucking pest is during summer is scales. We call snow scales. Where they remain in large numbers and suck the sap. And when there is a severe damage on the main trunk, we can see the splitting of the bark. So many of the farmers are resorted to spraying. So what we recommend, what we should do for management of snow scales is, first we should rub the stem portion. And after that, when we use mineral oils along with insecticides, we get very effective control of scales for a period of more than 8 weeks. So another major pest is mealy bugs, that also can be controlled. And one more major pest which has economic impact is rust mites, which affects both acid lime and sweet orange. Another is green mites, where they suck the sap. And for this green mite, the alternate what we observed nowadays is one is curry leaf, another is neem. So this green mite lays eggs along the midrib of the plant. You can see here both rust mite and green mite remaining under the webs. For this, many of the acaricides have been recommended from the ACRIP. One is ethion or proporgide or even spiromesphene can be used at 1 to 2 ml per liter. So one important find out what we found is this sweet orange, especially if you want to manage the rust mites and thrips, the insecticide schedule or the management should be well before the 2 months of flowering. Once the fruit crosses 4 centimeter diameter, even if you spray the insecticide, it is of no use. So one more major sucking pest is thrips, which suck the sap, and you can see the 2 white lines along the midrib. That is the typical symptom of thrips damage. And at early stages, we can see the white markings on the fruit. And another symptom is the white ring around the pedicel region due to the thrips damage. So same holds good. And one more problem we are seeing in citrus is decline. After 10 to 12 years, the tree of decline for different reasons, maybe complex of disease, soil-borne disease. So we should be careful by using bioagents and see that you purchase the quality planting material. And here you can see most of the farmers, when they use the seedling as a planting material, they can extend the shelf life of the tree up to 20 years. Another major problem of late is citrus nematodes, where we see the slow decline of the crop. So for this, we have many IPM practices like growing of marigold, use of Pasolomyces, and also neem cake. And another problem is Phytophthora gummosis. There is a oozing of gum. When we use the rootstock jumberry, we have more infestation of the gummosis. But when we use Rangpur, there is a less infection of gummosis. For this also regularly we should apply Bodo paste. And we see that water management is very crucial for gummosis. There is dry root rot, which is caused by Fusarium solani. For this, the main symptom will be that drooping of the leaves. Means even after sufficient irrigation also, the tree starts dull looking. So that's an indication during summer that the tree is infected with the dry root rot. So there are different IPM minerals, use of green manures, bodo mixture, and one more thing is use of bioagent like trichoderma along with the mixture of the FIM. So we have Ganoderma also, which is isolated cases where there is a neglect of orchards used to Ganoderma root rot. Another is twig blight. So regular spraying of copper oxychloride, we can reduce the twig blight incidence. Felt disease, pink disease, and a greasy spot. When there is a continuous occurrence of rains, we have a greasy spot symptoms, black spots on the leaves, both on acid lime and sweet orange. Whereby spraying of bodo mixture, that is copper-based fungicide, copper oxychloride, 3 grams per liter will control the greasy spot disease. And we have bacterial disease, which is a major disease in acid lime, that is called canker, where both our Balaji variety and Petlur Nimma are tolerant to this canker. Even if when there is a rainy season, the occurrence of the symptoms can be seen both on twigs, branches, and leaves. For this, the recommendation will be copper oxychloride, 30 grams in 10 liters of water plus streptocycline. If both you spray, we can reduce the canker incidence. So whenever any crop, be it citrus, mandarins, or acid lime or sweet orange, every farmer is supposed to use bodo mixture. So this 1% bodo mixture always is recommended for citrus disease management, irrespective whether it is a fungal or bacterial. So dissolve 1 kg of copper sulfate in 50 liters of water, 1 kg of lime in 50 liters of water. By both mixing this, we get a 1% bodo mixture that should be sprayed after precision of rains. And whenever there is a gummosis oozing on the trunk region, or whenever there is a pruning, then we have to apply bodo paste, where you use 1 kg copper sulfate in 5 liters of water and 1 kg of lime in 5 liters of water. Regular neem cake we should use. And many of the farmers have complained that though we are getting flowering, but there is less fruit sitting in acid lime and sweet orange. As we know that the best quality honey is produced from acid lime and sweet orange among fruit crops. So we should allow the pollinators, especially the small bees, to pollinate and have a better food set. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
Over.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Completed, ma'am.
You have completed? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the detailed presentation. Now I'll take up some questions.
Okay.
In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen and on your
I
video?
stopped it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the first question is, what is the difference between sweet orange and normal orange? Are they same or different?
Both are same.
I could not hear, sorry.
Both are same, ma'am.
Both are same. Okay. Okay. And what is the investment required for cultivation of sweet orange?
Actually, planting material, we have 100 plants to be accommodated per acre. 30 to 40,000 rupees, including the drip installation.
Okay.
Per acre.
Per an acre. Okay. Okay. And how much time does it take for the yield?
4 years, ma'am, from planting.
4 years from planting. Okay. Okay. And in India, in which all states sweet orange can be cultivated? And what is the season required for this?
Throughout the year can be cultivated.
Okay.
Generally, we require dry climate for cultivation of the sweet orange. As of now, it is grown in Maharashtra as Mosambik.
Okay.
In Telangana, Andhrapradesh, we are cultivating sweet orange. That is Satgudi.
Okay. Okay. And are there any varieties or only one variety of this?
Of late, only one variety is there, madam. Satgudi. In Mosambik, we have Pule Mosambik in Maharashtra.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, so do Indian farmers export sweet orange?
No, ma'am.
No, so there is no, I mean,
so we doesn't have any processing variety as of today.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't export sweet orange.
Okay, we don't export sweet orange. Okay. And we have a couple of more questions, then we'll wind up. Do you provide a consultancy service also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you, what are this thing required for that?
One request letter to the university.
Okay.
Or on personal field visit also we visit, madam. During
Okay.
holidays.
Okay.
Like from cultivation to the, what are all the management practices we should take it from availability of the planting material.
Okay, and how about the marketing of the orange?
It's not a big issue, madam. Marketing can be done. There are many mandis and traders.
Okay.
Who approach. Like Hyderabad is a big market for sweet orange.
Mm-hmm.
In Andhrapradesh, we have Anantapur.
Okay.
Traders come from North India and purchase.
Okay.
One important thing I want to say is the quality planting material becomes very important in citrus. Unlike other food crops, even if you purchase from the private nursery, it's not an issue. Like mango, guava, sapota, but in citrus, the viral diseases are major threat to its cultivation. So from there, the source of planting material becomes very important for a healthy orchard establishment.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, and what is the cost of per sapling?
Bundling it is 120 rupees we are charging.
120 rupees. So how do farmers select, how do we know which is good and which is bad? The sapling, because you said sapling quality is the most important.
Generally, they should look at the certified nurseries. We have one certification agency, knowing National Horticulture Board. In their website, they have already listed which are the nurseries which are certified, accredited by this central government body.
Okay.
So if you approach those nurseries, then definitely you'll get a quality planting material.
Achha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now we have the last question.
Yeah.
Please let us know a little about your career background and how you got interest in the agriculture field. So
actually, I completed BSc Agriculture in 99. And then I moved to the private sector. I worked at Bayer and DuPont for 3 to 4 years. Again, I completed my higher studies at IRI, Pusa, New Delhi. Then again, I worked in Nagarjuna as the Central Insecticide Board as the liaison officer for registration of pesticides. After that, I moved to the university system for 2008, working extensively on fruit crops and vegetables, mango, banana, papaya, melons, beetle vine, turmeric, and of late citrus.
Okay.
When I worked it, we also come across new species of insects infesting different fruit crops. So I'm also doing molecular identification of the insects, whether they are new species or already species which are existing in the nature. So of late, we are also working on the biocontrol aspects, because many of the farmers now are thinking of organic farming or natural farming. So it's a big challenge for us. So we're looking at the alternate to the chemical pests. What are the different options we have for pest and disease management? So in that, we are working on a grip on biocontrol also.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Dr. Srinivas, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a very detailed presentation and answering all the questions on a very short notice. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And for your information, I have shared your contact number and email address with our participants.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.